something or some place that brings you a measurable amount of joy. And just immerse yourself in all the feels, all the feelings, all the happiness. I don't care if it's ice cream sundae. If it's a person, place, or thing, just sit here for a minute and think on it. Okay. Now, God gave you and made you that made that person, place, or thing that gives you that feeling. And just for your joy, and out of His love for you, He gave you that feeling. Well, for me, that was my daddy and my mama. They give me a lot of joy. Well, the beach and cats also gives me joy. But those are the things in life that I really cherish. My parents and my cat and the beach. But I'd like to dedicate this little speech to my daddy. This little TED talk I'm going to do. Because he's really what influenced, a lot of what I'm going to say, and is really where my testimony comes from. So after he died, I thought, what could I do, to honor him and his life, and to keep him alive, in my heart. I said, well, should I walk for a cure? Should I donate? What should I do, And then I got to thinking about it when Pastor Pam had mentioned, I don't know if it was last Sunday or a couple of Sundays before, that, with her mama, it was spoken over her mama that she would speak. And I believe that's true, that she's speaking what her mama would have, spoken if she could. So, and then last Sunday she had said that, my daddy had a lot within him, and that he went to the grave with a lot. So I thought, what perfect that, I was asked to speak and, kind of, do what my daddy couldn't do, which is convey, the love of God to people. So that's what I came up with. That's what I should do, to honor my daddy. I said I should impart to others what I've learned from him and his life. So let me tell you about a time that I was typical teenager. I've been here since I was 2 years old. And I've really grown up since then. But I was just typical teenager, just sitting here, on the back row, probably with Erica and, whoever else was there at the time. I would sit there on Sunday. My mind would be somewhere. I don't know. It wouldn't be here. It would be somewhere else. It would be, on a Crush or on the Walmart. I don't know. But I wasn't really here. But one Sunday, Brother Darrell came, and he was really influential in my daddy's life. I mean, he had tapes of his, and back when the tape was still around. But he had tapes of his, and it really, really, really helped him out in his life. Well, when he preached here that Sunday, boy, I don't know if he was sick at that time. I don't know if he just found out. I don't know. But he had preached his heart and soul out that day. He was like, he preached on the lady with the issue of blood. And, that was profound to me. That was really when it hit me, like, I didn't even expect it. It was just one of those moments that, like, what? It's really, really, really something. So when he came, he was, like, preaching on the one with the blood. And he, like, going to the microphone. He was like, somebody, He just really, he really was getting into it, And so, it really, like, my heart was, like, really, really, really touched. I wanted to weep right there in my seat. Like, it was just beyond me, And that was when it hit my spirit, I was like, wait a minute, it was really a moment, profound. So after church, me and Mom and Daddy, I was like, I really think there's something more. I don't know. I keep hearing something more, something more. And so we didn't even go home that day. I think we rode around Middlesex, and I was crying, and I think they were even crying. I mean, because they were like, wow, finally, something's happened. You know, but yeah, it made me come alive. You know, something in me, and I don't know really what that something more meant, unless it meant, you know, that there's something deeper. Like we can just, you know, like there's a quote I wanted to share with you too. It said, where is it? Let's see. Your greatest ministry will likely come from your deepest pain. And that really, that's a quote that kind of stuck with me. I like quotes and stuff. So that's true. And I believe God is kind of, when it says something more, I believe God is kind of saying, lend me your eyes and I could change what you see or how you see it. And that's a song lyric, by the way, but anyway. And so if you lend God your eyes, your spiritual eyes, your human eyes, whatever, you know. Okay, and so God speaks to us or reveals things to us just the way we can understand them. You like cats? He'll reveal his heart to you through your cat. I mean, you like music? You like music, he'll reveal, you know, his heart through that too. I mean, even my little cat, Maggie, she gets right up here on my chest and starts kneading. I mean, that's the way she loves. Unconditional love, you know. But I also want to tell a story. I don't know how long it's going to be, but so there's a lady that Mama used to help Mama clean. Okay, and it was you. How many years did she help you clean? 12 or 13. Okay, well she had a grandson. His mama really, really, really said some things to him that were really bad and really ridiculed him, and really it was a bad situation. Well, this grandma that, you know, she helped Mama clean, she really took on the position of trying to be whatever she could be for him, whether, you know, and really try to help him in any way she could. Well, he passed away from overdose not too long ago, and it was really sad situation. He was living with her for a while up to that point, right? Living with her for a while. And then he really just couldn't get beyond things. Even though Mama had tried to tell him some things about God and stuff, and his mind was just so blocked up that, you know, he couldn't see anything else. So it's really sad, and she's really going through a hard time. And like I said about God, he'll reveal his heart to you through, you know, things that you understand. Well, I've been trying to talk to this lady, and it's really been like weird because I didn't really think I'd be any kind of influence to her. I mean, and really, she says I help her get through, and I'm like, well, really, you know. But like I said, and so now she had told me the story about her, and she still needs prayer, but she told me a story about the birds. About she loves the birds, listening to the birds, and she told me, she said, yeah, Katie, I was listening to the birds and everything, and she said I heard her say, you know, I love you, Gran. And that was her grandson. She said that was her grandson speaking to her. So I said, you know, God will use anything to really. And I thought about the story too she shared, and then Pam was talking about the nature and everything. So, and God can even reveal his love through cancer. I can tell you about the deepest pains I've had throughout my life. But out of those pains, I felt God's loving heart toward me. And my daddy would tell me, he would say a lot to me. He would say, you're more than a conqueror, you're an overcomer. I would say, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, I don't know, you know. But, you know, I encourage you parents here in this room. You know, Mother's Day's coming up. Scott shared a story about his mama. But, you know, I don't care how it looks, because my daddy would say, listen, I'd go to my daddy and I'd be talking and talking and talking and talking. He'd just be sitting there listening. Every once in a while he would say, He'd say, well, you're not listening to nothing I'm saying. I'm done. It's like I'm done. But see, listen. If I could stand up here and kind of, go beyond anything that I that I am really, then you know that no matter how it looks in your situation, maybe, who has children in here? Mama, no matter how it looks to Dustin, keep on, keep on. Tootsie, whatever you say to Chris, John, and Bill, keep on. Because, sometimes they might not be listening, but sometimes they might. So, any of you that have kids, Joshua, Tony, Casey, Jeremy, I know y'all ain't always listening, but sometimes you are. But I didn't know, that I would have to kind of overcome my daddy's death, and that was something that was extremely hard for me. Not really overcome it, because, I still lay in bed at night and think about how sad it is, and I just start crying. I'm not over it. So when I stand here, don't think that, oh yeah, she's got all of it figured out. Mm-mm. Sometimes I have more questions than I have answers, but it's important for me not to stay there and dwell on it. It's okay to be sad, and it's okay to, think about, what happened. So, and we understand what life is really all about when we take and impart to others God's love and kindness back to someone else. And as Daddy would say, he would say, get your mind right. Pastor Pam had asked me, at the lowest parts of my life, you have no idea, she's had to pick me up off the floor a lot. She really has, honestly. She's had to do a lot in my life. But at the lowest point, she said, what would your daddy say to you? And I said, he would say, get your mind right. So I was a 2-pound baby girl, born fighting, and I grow up into a quiet, shy child. And on top of that, just because I was born early, my mind thought it could say, yeah, you were born early. You can't. You ain't. You can't. You're not going to do it. The I can'ts would follow me, and the I ain'ts and I can'ts would follow me all throughout my whole life. School was awful for me. It was bad. I dreaded it every day, and Mama, she would have to talk to me. Woo. I was singled out a lot, and in class, I had trouble making friends because I was quiet. And a lot of people, they knew I was different. Like, they knew that, somehow I was different. And they didn't want to be around different. They didn't want to be around it. So I had to really go beyond some things even then. I had to even pay somebody to sit with them at lunch. It was bad. Okay, so college came, and I was thrown out into the world. I felt like I was thrown out into the world with nothing but clothes and a comforter and shower shoes and Jesus. That was all. Clothes and shower shoes and Jesus. That was all. And a comforter. Really. And so I almost quit sophomore year. I had a roommate that I got a potluck roommate. So I was like, first year I had somebody I knew from high school. Then she decided she wanted to be an RA, which was, live by herself and make posters or something, And so sophomore year, I almost quit. And I was struggling. I didn't have any friends. I knew some people from high school, but I didn't get out and make no friends, really. And so Daddy came down to Greenville, which he did a lot. And he said, if you want to quit, I'll stand behind you to whoever or whatever you want to do, whatever to whoever. And it was easy to say. I thought about it. I said, it'd be easy to say I quit. Because, after all, my mind had told me, you can't. And so I continued on, though, not without struggle, but I continued on. And then I graduated with a Bachelor of Science. And then uh, and then then I had to start looking for jobs, and then I sent my resume off. I mean, I have no idea. It was, I mean, between the years of 2012 to 2018, there's no telling how many resumes I sent out. I mean, it would be a lot. I mean, 300, 400, I don't know. I had jobs in between this time, but I mean, I was one of the jobs didn't work out because they said it was because of funding issues. A real small company, and then that was when I thought, oh, I was on my way. You know, I was doing computer stuff. I was on my way, and it was healthcare. So, and then I got another job, and it closed because the business wasn't doing well. So, but in 2015, Daddy was diagnosed with cancer. And then I've been working at a job for about in Wilson for about a year and a half, and I had some money saved up. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I thought I was going to buy a new car or something. But I heard something say, "You're going to need this money." I was like, what does that mean? And so then at that time, Mama was, having to run here and there with Grandma. Her health was failing, and then Daddy was sick. I mean, what a burden, And so I quit my job to be with Daddy until he, to be with him throughout his cancer journey, whatever that may be, And so during that time, Daddy and I, like on the good days, and let me tell you, there weren't many good days. But we went fishing in the beginning of his sickness, And the Lord spoke to me one day, and he said, you've been patient with others, but never with yourself. I was like, okay. Yeah, I get that. Okay, that's true. And when I was learning to fish, I got my line all tangled up in a tree, and then Daddy had to get it out. and I got frustrated with casting the line, and Daddy said, all right now, if you don't stop your mess, we're going to the house. I was like, all right, well, I better suck it up. Okay, but right now where I am at, I hear the words of wisdom from Daddy, and God will reveal something to me in a way that I understand and that resonates with my spirit. I've tried a few new things this year, things that were hard. Again, still struggling daily with the I can'ts and, overcoming. And I still have to get my mind right daily. I went to the gym lately, for example, and lately, Friday I think it was, I went by this big Hulk-looking man, little boy, and I thought to myself, excuse me, Mr. Hulk, sir, I'm just going to come and get this 15-pound weight. And there I go. I lifted it above my head. Just standing right beside Mr. Hulk, sir. So as Sandra said, the impossible is possible. But God. And as Jessica said, get out of your comfort zone, which I am. And this is how I honor you, Daddy, by giving to others what you gave to me, the Father's love. Not my father, well, my father's love, but through my daddy, God's love. And next, we'll just play like a 4-minute video. I think it kind of sums up some of the stuff that I said. How we're all in a big painting together, and how we all fit. I also wanted to tell Pam and Pastor, both the pastors, that I wouldn't be standing up here today if it were not for you, both. If nothing more from this that I've said today, that it encourages you and to keep going, because we've had a lot. This church has had a lot within this year or however long. So I wanna encourage you, and I would not be standing here at all. I mean, wouldn't be standing if it weren't for you and what God has done through the both of you. And I encourage you to keep going no matter what it looks like, because that's what you told me today. You said keep going. And she said, I'm gonna push you. Oh, I don't want to be pushed though. I don't want to. But she did. And don't you be crying because I can't do it. I can't handle that crying. So, but if y'all watch this video, then I'm done.